something that I haven't talked a lot about on my channel is the fact that I was an English major when I went to university, and I read a lot of great books. I don't know why I don't talk about it a lot. It feels like really far away. So what I want to talk about today are some of my favorite books that I read in college when I was working on my English degree. Several of them are books that I've mentioned before. That's just how influential they were and how important they are to me. So hopefully it won't be redundant. The first book I want to talk about is a book I read in a Victorian Lit course. I had a really great professor. She was so enthusiastic about Victorian Lit, which was really great. Another thing that she was really good at was reading poetry. And on days when she read poetry, I was like, we don't have to do anything else, guys. Let's just listen to her. The book is Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Rhys. Like I said, I've kind of talked about it before. I don't want to get too much into it because I know it's kind of a big deal, actually. A lot of people talk about it on BookTube. But if you don't know anything about it, it's kind of written like a prequel to Jane Eyre. It's about Mr. Rochester and how he met his wife and kind of her experience. It's very interesting. It's kind of heartbreaking, and I definitely would describe it as life-changing especially if you're a fan of Jane Eyre, because it gives you a completely different perspective on the book. It's just fascinating. I have a really pretty new copy of it, and I would like to reread it soon. The next book that was a favorite in college was Cranford by Elizabeth Gaskell. If you haven't heard of the book, you've probably heard of the BBC miniseries, which was delightful. Maggie Smith was in it, and all of these other amazing British actresses. There were some books that I read for courses that I had already read before, but Cranford was a book that I had never even cracked open, and I really didn't know what to expect, but it was really funny, and the characters are so alive, and I thought, just in general, I really like Elizabeth Gaskell's writing. Cranford is mostly about this little town called Cranford, and the people, especially the women who live in it, these like older ladies, and kind of their trials and tribulations. And it's just, I don't know, there's something about it. I wrote this paper, and I think it's one of the best papers that I wrote in college, and I can't remember right now what it was about, but I found it recently, and I was like, this was really good. I feel really good about this. I had a lot to say about it when it was done, and I just really enjoyed overall reading it. Another book that I really liked was The Passion by Jeanette Winterson, which I have talked about before. The Passion is a really interesting story, and it kind of explores love and gender and like fantasies and things like that, and it takes place in Italy, I think. It's been a long time since I read it, and that's another one that I really like to reread. But just in general, it's beautiful and very kind of magical, mysterious, and just, it's great. I just read Jeanette Winterson's memoir, Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit, and it was really unique, and I have thoughts which I will get to at another time, but I love her writing. I know she's one of those writers where it's like you love her or you hate her, and I really love her, and she's just so different, and I love that style. I love the tone, I think, is what I'm trying to say. So, anyway. The Bloody Chamber and Other Stories by Angela Carter. It is a book of short stories. There's sort of like retellings of fairy tales, and she definitely puts a different spin on them. Everything about it is unique and wonderful, and just, it's great. It was a really great experience, and I highly recommend any of her work. Anyway, those are some books that I loved reading in college. Let me know if you read any of them, or if you have any recommendations based off them, or if you got an English degree like me and you're really good at BSing papers. I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.